One of the biggest stories on Weibo recently is about China's newest President Xi Jinping visiting Moscow for his first foreign capital visit. Now, the story is also covered on various foreign media outlets, and a lot of people are trying to delve into the meaning behind the visit. Now, analysts are saying that it's a symbolic move which demonstrates the increasing interdependence of the two nations. Energy and trade is speculated to be one of the key issues that the two leaders talk about. And according to the China Institute of International Relations, trade between Moscow and Beijing grew to a record $88 billion in 2012, and that it's likely to move beyond $100 billion in the years to come. Now, some analysts also believe that China and Russia might be looking to strengthen ties to countervail a U.S.-led dominance in global affairs. President Xi's visit is also accompanied by senior executives from state oil giants PetroChina and Sinopec. So again, there's speculation that there will also be talks concerning oil pipelines. All right, now let's take a look at what Chinese Weibo users had to say about President Xi's visit to Moscow.
This means the current state of world affairs is very bad for China. We need to make sure we have a strong ally. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for China to continue its growth. China is back to back with Russia. If we strengthen our relationship, we'd be able to form a very strong alliance. Otherwise, Russia would be a more dangerous opponent than the U.S. Working together for mutual benefit is what everybody wants. I personally don't think the first country that Xi visits is really that important. Maybe it's just scheduling. America is just unhappy that they weren't the first country that Xi visited as president of China. It's a story of the U.S., Russia, and China, the three giants. Liu Bei allying with Sun Quan against Cao Cao. Chinese people understands the three-party politics very well.
And besides President Xi Jinping's Moscow visit, the media has also been focusing on his wife, China's new First Lady, Peng Liyuan. Now, some of you might not know this, but Peng Liyuan, even before becoming the First Lady of China, was already a famous Chinese celebrity. Now, she is a well-known singer in China, adored by millions for her performances of Chinese folk songs and revolution-themed ballads. Now, while pictures of her arriving in Moscow with her husband created a stir on Weibo, net users also tried to decipher what brand of handbag and clothing she was wearing and carrying. Now, so far, the popular consensus is that it's a domestic Chinese brand. Now, unlike China's previous first ladies, Peng Liyuan is not shy of attention, and while the wives of China's previous leaders tend to stay away from the media spotlight, now it's possible that Peng would take on a more active role to similar capacities as the American First Lady, and it also helps that she already has a huge fan base in the tens of millions.
Wow, our First Lady is very stylish. It seems everybody is looking at the First Lady and not really minding what Xi is doing in Russia. I'm proud of our First Lady. She will help to win the hearts of the world.
The relationship between China and Russia can be described as something of a roller coaster ride. In the 30s and 40s, Mao Zedong was part of the international communism movement that had established an unrecognized state called the Chinese Soviet Republic, where Mao served as both head chairman and prime minister. Now, after Mao's triumph in the Chinese Civil War, Sino-Soviet relations worsened when the two countries had progressively diverged about Marxist ideology. Now, while the Soviet Union at the time was looking at the possibility of peaceful coexistence with the capitalist West, Mao had initially rejected the idea of peaceful coexistence, which he perceived as Marxist revisionism. The divide fractured the international communist movement and opened the way for the warming of relations between the U.S. and China in 1971. Now, tension between China and the Soviet Union heightened in the 60s to the point where a nuclear war with the USSR had been a possibility. However, luckily, war was averted and relations between China and the Soviet Union normalized with the visit of Mikhail Gorbachev to Beijing in 1989.